Ain't you sick of hearin' the same old crap about holdin' on and lettin' go? Ain't you sick of hearin' the same old crap about grudges and forgiveness? Ain't you sick of people expectin' that crap to set you free when it only keeps holding you captive? Or maybe you would just like to know more about Sweden and its recent epidemic of gang shootings? Maybe you'd like to know more about the circumstances that lead people to crime and drugs, and how I got caught up in it to quite an extent. If that's the case, you've found the right place. Here's tons and hours of recorded Facebook and Instagram posts with unique, rarely heard before perspectives and experiences of mental illness, street life, Islam, politics, etc. I'm Jonathan Persson, a Muslim convert rapper and author from Umeå, a city in northern Sweden with a population of about 90,000. I've had traits of ADHD since elementary and many other diagnoses since high school. I've had CFS, chronic fatigue syndrome, since February 3, 2020. I've been sugar sober since April 30, 2017 after a severe sugar addiction, and I also had a pre-marriage divorce around the same period. I was born in 1991. At age 3, I was diagnosed with autism, and then at age 12, after having shown obvious signs of ADHD, such as running from school daily, I was re-diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome, nowadays called ASD, autism spectrum disorder. Thus, I had to go to a special education class in junior high, where I witnessed a lot of alienation and cult-like pro-Asperger's propaganda. I've never been diagnosed with ADHD, but I should have however had about 10 diagnoses today, looking at my life as a whole rather than just currently. That in combination with my ADHD, and a strong interest in the hip-hop subculture which I developed in elementary already, made me develop a strong hatred for this retard subculture that had been manufactured, both by the teachers and the students. I wanted no part in it. Fortunately, I got in touch with minority kids from the projects, and since then, I've associated myself with mainly those kind of people. I myself grew up in a typical white suburban family. At home I've been known as FSG, which stands for, fuck the Swedish government, an internet username I came up with at age 13. The name has become much more relevant to Sweden as a whole gradually since 2010. Throughout the years, I've used various internet names other than FSG, and the reason for that is I didn't want certain people, relatives, teachers, etc., to notice too easily that it's me, out of fear of legal repercussions. I've also feared for illegal ones, but that's a different chapter. Some of them know about my old internet username. I also converted to Islam, at least by title and community belonging, on November 8, 2014, and since then I've gradually gotten closer to Islam by its true definition. At first, when I created my secondary Instagram account in March 2018, I called myself The Angry Convert, just like here on YouTube. Then in the fall of 2020, I decided to rename myself, which I can't do here on YouTube. At first I wanted to call myself Mentally Mutated Muslim, but then I felt that it was too offensive and controversial, so I decided to call myself Mentally Mutated Man instead. But as of early 2021, times have changed, and I no longer need nicknames or a secondary Insta account to hide myself from certain people. I'd rather just be known by my birth name, and now I only use my primary account, that I've had since November 2014, for all of my posts, including English translations and hashtags. Many of you might wonder what I mean by pre-marriage divorce. Well, it really means that I walked away from a marriage that was pretty much being orchestrated for me in 2016-17, my first years as a Muslim. I ain't written much about it, but I wrote quite a bit about it on December 2, 2019. You can find the post and many others at my website fsgumea.weebly.com, and eventually even here on YouTube. At Weebly, you can also find my autobiography. I've had it uploaded there ever since November 2013, but I've changed it a good number of times. Last time I rewrote it majorly was the winter of 2017, and I will rewrite it again eventually. I also suggest you go check the tab, Facebook/Insta posts, for regular updates, to see much of what I've gone through ever since 2011. In case you ain't noticed yet, this post was actually recorded with text-to-speech, and not my own voice. In late February 2021, I came up with the idea of recording all of my posts with text-to-speech, in this case Google Cloud, since my CFS won't allow me to do so with my own voice, and since I ain't had much better things to do the last year. I can barely even pray my Muslim prayers, much less leave my apartment. At first I decided to try sending my posts to Spotify, and at first it worked just fine. But then after about 2 weeks, they took 'em all down, so now I gotta be here on YouTube instead. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel to get notified for whatever comes next. I'm fully active recording more. Then of course, follow me on Instagram and also SoundCloud for music you won't find here on YouTube, links available at Weebly. Thank you for taking your time.